Today I'm going to take you to Valdez, Alaska. It's a small town with a big history, and it was founded in the Klondike Gold Rush, and it survived devastating earthquakes in 1964. Valdez played a crucial role in Alaska's development. Its ice-free port, stunning glaciers, and strategic location continue to make it viral today. Our cruise ship docked in the shipping area, and we had to take shuttles into town with the big buses that hold 65 people or something. I decided to take a tour to the Columbia Glacier, which was a 6.5-hour tour. The tour was booked through Stevens Wildlife and Glacier Cruises.
Unfortunately, they don't publish the schedules of the ships anymore, but it's a little hard to miss, and I have a good ship out here right now, so we'll have to keep an eye out and see what's out ahead of us here.
And that was the captain giving us a little bit of background. So we are leaving Valdez. Valdez does sit between two really big mountains. The scenery is just beautiful here. And then we see this seal just hanging out on the little floating thing out in the middle of nowhere, taking a nap during the middle of the day. And there's me. I'm up in the front of the ship. I got to sit there with the captain for a while and check out the scenery and listen to what was going on and see all their maps, and it was really nice. The experience that they gave me was phenomenal. I would highly recommend this company. So this Columbia Glacier cruise departed from a small harbor in Valdez, and we were aboard, like I said, Stan Stevens vessels, and the journey has taken us through the serene waters of Prince William Sound, and it's surrounded by towering mountains. There's waterfalls and lush fjords. And Valdez has the most beautiful coastline, and it's just the beginning of what makes it special. So I'm going to go ahead and let the captain tell you a little bit about what's going on around us as we take our cruise down the forge.
Just below the water surface here, and this is where the face stood in 1980, right here. And when it stood out here, it had about 400 feet of ice straight above the water, only about 40 to 80 feet of ice sitting in the water on this moraine. So you're kind of working our way over to the shoreline here. We'll try to travel the shores wherever we can today, and that's going to spin again. I've had a chance again to watch for the land-based animals like black bears. And it's going to be out around Columbia Glacier. The open faces out there. Give them a lot of area to cruise around that.
We had this little sea lion following the ship.
Sometimes they stick around just for a few minutes. Other times they hang around pretty good. Two out front doing pretty well out there right now. Actually, it looks like 3 of them at the moment. Again, a doll porpoise or a cousin to a dolphin. Very similar, but also kind of different. They have a shorter, blunter nose to them. And
Next, we have hundreds of sea lions on the shore. They're called the stellar sea lions.
My full head here is what they term as a haul-out area for the stellar sea lion. We're seeing at the buoy, a lot of them lounging about. We do predominantly feed at night.
Whether moody and gray or clear and blue, the scenery around Valdez is stunning. So today it started out a little foggy, but then the fog started to lift, and you're seeing these beautiful waterfalls, the mountains at their heights. There were glaciers all over the place. So as I said, we started in Port Valdez, and we slowly cruised into the Valdez arm of Prince William Sound. You could hear the Chickasaw Mountains. There's an intricate coastline of forge, rock beaches, and craggy sea stacks. There is a trio of barrier islands that protect from the more crazy waters of the Gulf of Alaska. If you've ever seen the Bering Sea and the show The Deadliest Catch, which I do have another video on, by the way, you'll know what I'm talking about with those kind of crazy waters out there. So the William Sound has calm waters. They are home to a variety of marine wildlife. Passengers often see puffins and cormorants, sea lions and seals, Dall sheep, brown bear, and sometimes even orcas. Rounding into Heather Island, our catamaran soon enters Columbia Bay. Columbia Bay pours an elevation of 10,000 feet, and the Columbia Glacier is one of the largest tidewater glaciers in south central Alaska. It is also one of the most active glaciers in the world. As we get closer to the Columbia Glacier, the scenery is just dramatic. So the glacier is in the eastern part of Prince William Sound. It has been catastrophic retreat since about 1982, and the phenomenon predicted to stop by 2020. But every day, 13 million tons of ice break off the face of it, leaving chunks in the water, and they're often twice as big as the boat that we were riding on. Columbia Glacier has shed miles of its length in the past decade, precipitated by climate change and exacerbated by glacier dynamics. To give you a sense of how much ice is being lost, there's a video out there, but it shows the glacier losing ice in the equivalent of 1.5 trillion liters of water over the summer of 2007 alone. How much is that? It's 44 times the entire annual consumption of bottled water in the United States. That's a lot of water. And this is happening all over the places that have glaciers like Alaska, Iceland, the northern and deep southern areas of the world. So this is an ongoing problem. Columbia Glacier was named after Columbia University in 1899 by members of the Harriman Expedition. The expedition named several other glaciers in Prince William Sound after American universities, including Harvard Glacier, Yale Glacier, and Dartmouth Glacier. You're able to see the little chunks of ice around in the water there, but there are some pretty big chunks of ice, and an iceberg only has 10 to 20% of its actual size showing outside of the water. So we have one of the workers right here who is going to get some of the ice out of the water, and she showed us exactly how big a piece could be and how cold it is. So this was kind of neat for her to do. It took her a minute, but yeah, it's kind of tricky getting around these ice chunks because you never know how they're going to be underneath. Because like I said, only a little part is showing at the top. But the closer you get to Columbia Glacier, the more ice you have floating around from the calving of the glacier itself. Good job.
Thanks. Someone's got to be strong.
So the tour boat tends to get about within a mile of the face of the glacier, and they do like a 270-degree view of the glacier ice. It's about 200 to 400 feet tall. If you weren't on this little boat, you might not get no closer than 12 miles from this glacier. So again, the Columbia Glacier is located in Prince William Sound. It is over 550 meters thick at some points. It covers an area of about 400 square miles. So this glacier is definitely a sight to behold. It actually snakes its way through 32 miles through the Chilkoot Mountains, and then it dumps into Columbia Bay, which is about 40 miles by boat from Valdez.
Venture over the southern point here. This other flow of ice. Again, a little bit of a steeper fall down the hillside here, and so it's a little bit more jagged and broken. The one that we were just looking at. And as I said, it does change all the time. Far left over there, you see all the ice just kind of laying about, kind of in a jumbled mess. But last week, that was actually a big arch. The water cutting down through the ice underneath it, kind of hollowing it out, then over it fell. So I'll just lay it down in there now.
I know it's a little hard to hear the captain at certain points in this video, but he basically was giving us a background of the glacier's rapid retreat and its impact on the local ecosystem. Navigating through Columbia Glacier's ice-strewn waters is like drifting through a frozen wonderland. The icebergs have their own unique shape, constantly shifting and melting as it drifts into the currents. Some are bright white, others make a shimmer with a deep blue glow. The patterns and textures are mesmerizing. This is a photographer's dream. And as we headed away from the glacier, we were able to see more because the fog lifted. So seeing the towering Chilkoot Mountains rise dramatically from the sea. The peaks were shrouded in like mist or snow, but it was the end of the season, the summer season, so a lot of the snow was melted. This also made better viewing for the wildlife that we encountered. Although the area is well known for humpbacks and orcas, we were not able to see any this time around. But there's always plenty of opportunity to see them if you're in that area, so. I hope you enjoyed my video today on Columbia Glacier and Valdez, Alaska. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos. And remember, it's up to you to make it fun and make it yours. We'll see you the next time.